cages, soldier, all of us. We're all brought here for the same purpose. This planet is a game preserve. And we're the game.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I think the 2010 sequel to the first Predator films has a lot of wasted potential in it. It could have been a great movie, but some things about it lower my experience to the point that it's just a lame attempt to catch some of the original's greatness. The first film is one of my all-time favorites, and it's disappointing that no one so far was able to make an interesting sequel. So these are 5 reasons why I think the movie isn't as good as it could be. Number 5. The Alien Planet. So this is not the Predator homeworld, but a planet that they use for hunting. This could have been an interesting part of this movie. They sent random aliens from all parts of the universe to hunt them. There are even wrecked ships and relicts that could be from the Predators or from some other alien civilization. Sadly, the movie does nothing with these elements. We don't see a big variety of different life forms. The only part of the movie where we actually see another alien creature is the one scene where they try to lure the Predator into a trap, and the Predator uses this other alien to distract the humans. The problem is we don't see anything interesting about this creature, and after 2 seconds it lays dead on the floor. We also never see other members of this or another hunted alien race. Could have brought more variety into this movie. If they don't have to deal only with the Predators but with other creatures with different abilities too. There is also nearly no wildlife on this planet. At one scene we see something like a dinosaur bird, but only for a split second, and it doesn't cause us any danger. So there seem to be no other threats on this planet than the Predators themselves. If they would have been more creative with the environment and the creatures, this could have been a much better movie. But in the way it is presented, I don't get why it has to be an alien planet at all. Could be just a jungle on Earth, and would make no visible difference. So, number 4. Characters. I'm not the kind of guy who says Adrien Brody could not be the main protagonist in this movie, because it could work well, but the way he is presented is kind of wrong. I like that he is kind of the I don't give a fuck person. It makes him different from Arnold Schwarzenegger's Dutch in the first film. But again, they don't do anything special with these negative character traits. There is nearly no mistrust in his direction. What is kind of strange, shouldn't they all mistrust each other? They are killers and special forces from different countries. Sure, they have the scene where Royce uses the other team members as bait to find out more about the Predator, or where he left Isabel with this doctor guy to save his own skin. But he returns at the end to make things good, and every conflict in the movie where he does something bad is solved in a few seconds. At the end he evolves to be like Dutch anyway. I would have found it more shocking if he would become the bad guy at the end. This would have been a fresh turn for a Predator story, and the scene where he wants to use the Doctor as bait for a Predator trap could have been the turning point. Royce could have insisted that this must be done to kill one of the Predators, and Isabel starts to fight with Royce to stop him. Maybe Isabel dies, and Royce survives because of his ruthless behavior. I don't know why they need a happy end in a movie like this. What also bothers me is the decision from Adrien Brody to fake a growly voice.
In case you didn't notice, we just got flushed out. The trunk was a deadfall. Rule of thumb with a deadfall is you set the weight 5 times that of the target animal.
It's just distracting. This is the main reason why I can't really take him seriously as a tough mercenary guy. If he would have just used his normal voice instead, it would be much more convincing. So overall I think the characters alone could have made this movie more interesting, but they are just stereotypes. Number 3. The unnecessary references to the first movie. So there are many dialogue scenes that are directly copied from the first film, like when Adrien Brody screams,
Run! Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
or when the RUF guy seems to feel that there is something in those trees.
What is it?
Nothing. What is it? There's something in those trees. misses nothing, Major.
These dialogues have the only purpose to give us a nostalgic feeling about the first film. I think this misses the point. Predators is a sequel and not a remake. If you are a filmmaker and get the chance to make a Predator movie with an acceptable budget, how can you be that unimaginative? I mean, I know the budget was not that big, but especially then you should focus on a good dialogue and great characters. Predator fans came here to see something new, and not an attempt to copy the first film, as if they would not be able to make their own iconic moments in the sequel. Number 2. When their actions don't make sense anymore. So until the middle of the movie they did not know what the Predator is, and now they investigate their camp and see one of them. Isabel notices that she already heard about this creature because of the events of the first film. Now she gives the whole team a detailed description about what the Predator's abilities are.
A Spec Ops team went into the jungle. Only one made it out. In his debrief, he said they came in contact with something. He gave a detailed description. It wore some kind of camouflage that adjusted to ambient light. Made it nearly invisible in our spectrum. It could see in infrared. Heat signatures. He used mud to block his. That's how he beat it.
The first thought in their minds should be to find some mud. But no, after this very important information about how to get ahead of the enemy, just try to hide behind bushes, as if the thermal vision cannot see through this. At this point they clearly should have known better. I don't get why Isabel's explanation of the Predator's abilities is in this movie anyway, if no one takes it as a solution to defeat them, as if there would not be enough mud on this planet for all of them. Number 1. The Super Predators. So there are two kinds of Predators now, what I think is absolutely unnecessary. The new Predators are bigger, stronger and more aggressive, but also cheap looking in design and don't reach up to the iconic Predator design of Stan Winston. The explanation that Lawrence Fishburne's character gives about the two different Predator types is:
Anyway, there's two different types of them out there. Now they're similar, but they're different. It's kind of like the difference between dogs and wolves.
The Super Predators are like wolves and the normal Predators are like dogs. I really hate this description. We think of wolves as cooler and more dangerous than dogs in this context. Maybe something like a golden retriever or a smaller dog comes to mind. They try very hard to sell us this new Predator race and spit on the original in the process. I mean, the only original Predator we saw was held captive by the Super Predators and loses the fight against their leader. This is an insult in my opinion to every original Predator fan. I think it would have been better if the Super Predators would be normal ones, but from another more ruthless clan, who have decided to hunt their own species. There is no need to change the design in such a cheap movie monster way. When I saw the face of a Super Predator for the first time, I was not impressed, and I asked myself, how could this bigger head and mouth fit into the technical mask? So clearly my number 1 issue with this movie. Overall this movie could have been a good sequel, but it really is not, because they did nothing special or new with the ideas they came up with. For the most part it follows the same plot structure like the first two movies. They discover that they are hunted by an alien, or 3 in this case, then the Predators slowly reveal themselves, and at the end a final showdown man against monster. It worked in the first movie because the idea of the Predator was new, but after 2 movies that play out more or less in the same way, I had higher expectations for this one. So these were my 5 reasons why Predators was not that good of a sequel. Do you agree with me, or do you think it was an awesome sequel? What is your opinion about the Super Predators? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.